Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Heroine show. Today I am Heroine Kim, and I'm here along with my other heroine. And we are so happy to be here, and we are happy that you are inviting us into your homes. It is a pleasure to see you today. We are thrilled to invite our special and exclusive guest, Miss Kim Singh, on the Heroine Show for a special International Women's Month episode on women and work-life balance. Kim, how are you doing?
I am wonderful, thank you. And you?
I am doing fantastic, and as I said, we are so happy to have you here today. We're going to start off by having the other heroines here say a special welcome to you, and then we will have you introduce yourself.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're welcome to the Heroine Show.
Thank you so much.
We are glad to see you, have you today in our midst.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you, Kim.
Likewise, a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, as I said, this is the month of, this is our International Women's Month, and I just wanted to encourage all those women who are out there who are doing what they need to do to take care of themselves and to take care of their families, wanting to empower our women out there, our sisterhood, and to just let you know that as you continue on your journey, whether it be as a student at school or whether as a housewife or whether you're a corporate or a sister, a mother, whatever role you are playing, just do it to the best of your ability and continue to be as great as you possibly can. We are going to turn our attention now to Miss Kim Singh, which we are welcoming, and we are going to ask you to please introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you. So first of all, thanks very much for having me. It's an honor to be here at International Women's Month. I'm a big advocate for women. It's one of the things that I strive to incorporate to do. Every seat that I take in the boardroom, I try to bring 10 that looks like me and sound like me. A little bit about myself. First and foremost, I'm a mom. I'm an independent mom. That is, for me, one of the most important roles that I have. Aside from that, I am a corporate executive. I've been in corporate for 30 years. And I have a lot of, as Kim mentioned, some accolades behind my name, so I'll quickly run through those. I took some time during COVID to reevaluate what I want to accomplish in life, and I did 2 MBAs in 2 years. For me, that was a huge accomplishment, so that's now in the tag of my name. I'm also a mental health advocate and a D&I advocate for women, primarily focusing on women empowerment. So I do a lot of coaching and a lot of mentoring globally, and I'm also a global peace ambassador. I'm focusing heavily on United Nations and how we can come together to make sure that women that looks like us and sound like us have a place at the table.
Wow. You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to meet you.
Thanks.
Wonderful, so wonderful to hear. As I said, she did much better job at introducing herself than I possibly could have. And we are so pleased to have you today with us. And we're going to just jump right into this women and work-life balance, because it's something that is talked so much about, and we're always striving to have that balance as women to be the best that we can as I said, as females, as moms, as whatever our position is, but also in our daily jobs, in our careers, and as corporate executives or as students or whatever our role may be. So our first question today in regards to women and work-life balance is all about what does that mean to us? And what does that mean to you, Kim, when we talk about women and work-life balance?
It's an interesting dynamic. I think work-life balance, when you incorporate, it seems to exist, but it doesn't. Work-life balance in general is being able to take that opportunity and partalize personal life and your work life. And that's really important. It is a foundation of women, and we all strive for it. And it's funny that you asked me this question this morning. I was arguing, kind of debating with a friend of mine, and we were talking about work-life balance. When you get to a certain level in corporate, you don't have it. If you strive to do a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, that's it. That's where you're stuck. You can't challenge status quo. You can't be able to be the best that you want to be.
Right.
So for me, I encourage work-life balance, which is understand what is important to you personally and professionally. And depend on your appetite of how far you want to get in life, you have to be able to say, which one am I going to sacrifice a percentage of to be able, not losing who you are in the rat race.
Right. So not losing your identity.
More so subscribing to things that you know that doesn't resonate with you. For example, if I am going to say I'm going to spend 50% with my family and if other 50% on work, and that's my core foundation, and then I get piggyback into doing something another 10% that's going to take me from what my beliefs are, don't do it.
Right.
Stick to what you believe in. Stick to what work-life balance mean to you. Might not mean to the person that is asking you to take on that additional responsibility. So when you think about work-life balance, think about what can I do to be wholesome in who I am, and how do I want to balance my life? It's about being able to balance it. But again, as you get to a certain level, that balance, we talk it, we encourage it. I'm big into women's support stuff. I open my meetings with mental health. Do I do it? No, I don't have the time because I chose to do that. This is how I have prioritized my life.
Right, right. And we talk about trying to find that balance. I don't know if that's something as women that we can possibly say that, yes, we have conquered or we have found that perfect balance. I think some things may be a little off, but is that something that you feel that is a struggle on a daily basis, monthly basis, or is that something that we work on as we go along?
It determines by your environment that you're in, right? I can be in an environment where it's a government unionized, like my client right now in BC. I cannot start a meeting before 8:30, and my meeting might as well end at 4. If not, I'm shot. So it's the environment that depicts what work-life balance truly mean, and you have to be able to draw that line. Again, my client finished work at 4. I don't. I finish at 10 because I chose to do that.
Okay.
It depicts by the environment that you're in, but you have to be solid to say, I am going to stop at 4, and your company needs to respect that. Your boss needs to respect that, and everybody else around you, because that's your priority. That's your work-life balance. You've chose that path.
Okay, so we talked about work and so on. So do you ever, as a woman, do you ever feel guilty in terms of the family aspect of your life now?
I look back. I got divorced when my son was 5.5 years old. As a single mom, your subconscious mind kicked in when you start thinking about what do I need to do to put food on the table.
Right.
I would take my son to soccer. I would take my son to games, and I'm taking him with a computer. I've missed the goal that he's made. I've missed the swimming that he's touched the wall because I am working. Those are the things I look back today and I say, if I had known better, I could have shut that down, leave that home, and look at what my son. I can't get those time back.
Right.
So those are regrets that as a mom, I carry through. What advice I would give to women to prioritize. Prioritize your kids, prioritize your family, and prioritize your job so they does not cross-pollinating each other. I messed up because I thought I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a mentor then. I didn't have a coach, and I didn't know what work-life balance is. I'm a girl from the Caribbean. You don't know what that is, right? You just gotta run the race, right?
Yes.
Your horse is out. You just gallop. It's what we're trained to do.
And while I'm talking to you, I want to also get these our other heroines in on the conversation as well. How do we as heroines and how do we as manage our work-life work-life balance. Same question that I asked Kim there as well. Do we ever feel guilty in terms of our family with trying to manage that? I'd like to get your feedback on that.
Okay, I can go.
Wonderful.
So thank you so much, Kim, for starting us off. Personally, I feel work-life balance is a myth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's non-existent, like you said.
Okay.
It's so important to draw the line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's so much of us. There's so much time in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the advice you gave to people, to women out there, so that we don't live a life of regret. We need to know where our capacity stops.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this because maybe I'm in a different stage of life. Maybe I wouldn't have said this 20 years ago. but right now, I know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what's important to me.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like Kim mentioned, what's the percentage you want to spend on your work? What's the percentage you want to spend with your family? Now,
Right.
with somebody like us, the community speaks too.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's kind of drawn into the mix. So you gotta divide that percentage. Once upon a time, when the community calls, 100% of the time, it's a yes from me. But right now, I realize that I have to prioritize my mental health,
Right,
my mental
right.
wellness. I have to prioritize my family. I have to prioritize what brings in the money to me because I want to look good, right?
Yeah.
So all those things are thrown in the mix.
Absolutely.
So you need to know what's good for you.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
I was saying something to somebody and they said, "Oh, can you explain more?" And I said, "I've spoken my truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's left for whoever is listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to take it or leave it
Mm-hmm.
because it's my life, right? So it's so important to have that balance, to know what's important to you.
Right. It's an individual decision. It's an individual thing. Heroine Blessing, do you have anything to add to this?
Thank you so much. You guys have all nailed it. And like we said, personally for myself, I understood that it's good to balance life. Family. Family comprises your marriage. The children is involved. I'm the husband, especially those who have family values. I think I'm one of them that from the root, I have a family values. I prioritize that, and then the spirituality, which is my main career. It's very important that we choose. It's a choice, actually. It's a personal choice. Some people may choose that, okay, they want to prioritize their job over everything. I think I will say this again, it comes through maturity. Like I said, sometimes when you're vibrant, your body, your energy, like you can take some things for granted sometimes. Not that you really want to leave it, but when it comes to this cash, you want to bring it in. So that is why while I was growing up, I'm a business person. I'm very business oriented. But then I realized that at a time that nobody can actually take care of you or what you have like you do. Especially when it comes to family.
Yes.
So because of that, I put more attention first in my spirituality. In fact, family first, because when you know the truth, you know where to direct your attention. Then the family. So I have seen that actually the one I have tried, it works for me. But for job, putting job, what I do, I take care of family first. Then I come to job. I have more peace and rest. I work longer hours. Right. So I think that it's very important that we prioritize and also value, what we have aside. That will help us to be able to balance all the responsibility. Right. Yeah. So for me, I'm still, when you talk of mental health, that's our health well-being through work, how to get up on the seat, even when, until my body tells me that it's okay. But because I have a lot to do, especially when one person is working like 10 people job. You remember, when you're a CEO, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
The committee are looking after The committee are looking for you this one. But that's what I'm working on. So what I'm doing right now is to be able to say no to some certain things so that I can have enough time for my workplace and then be able to go back home and get ready for the other day. So I don't know, but this is a very important topic for me right now. So it's very, very important, and we're going to make it more obvious and more authentic so that others who are watching will understand. We gain something from this discussion right now.
Yeah, while you're talking, I was thinking about COVID. COVID came, and during COVID, there was a lot of changes that we had to make, especially for us as women. And so one of the things that I'm thinking about is, how did remote work affect us as women? Kim, I want to ask you, how do you feel that remote work affected you during COVID, and how has that post-COVID now? How is that still a thing, or is that done with, or give us some feedback on that?
So I'm speaking from the corporate world. I think, actually, I believe it's when we looked at balancing for women, it's a struggle, regardless if it's remote, if it was COVID or not. So let's take the main topic, COVID. We all were parachute home. As a woman, you now have your kids in the house, your in-laws, and everybody else, plus the dog and the cats, plus your job. And so there's no stopping. You don't know when to stop. You couldn't pause. So that had a massive toll on people. That's why I got into the mental health space. As I was mentoring people, I realized no one wants to talk to me about their career or how do I help them get past in corporate. It's more the mental aspect of it. It really did the number on people that were married. Their marriage went, astray because of COVID. Some people that, were having an affair, wherever the marriage brought them, staying home brought them back together. It's reality, right? But then you have the flip side of it now. The mom doesn't know when to stop. You can't stop. You have the kids yelling in the corner, Mom, I need help with the education. You have your boss yelling, and you have a husband now yelling for food. So that becomes there's a circle of all the demons they're coming to play. And you as a woman got to take a step back and go, holy crap, what do I do now? Do I have the tenacity to do all of this?
Right.
And if I do, am I going to go being sane and do it, or I'm going to lose my marbles? And I know a lot of people have lost their marbles because they couldn't. Fast forward to where we are today. The opportunity to escape back to your office and do your 9 to 5 or whatever that hour is provides a little bit of more sanity. For someone like myself, I enjoy working from home because my teams are all over the world, right? Like, at 5 a.m. I'm taking a call from India, and then 8 a.m. and p.m. I'm taking a call from BC. It works for me because I know I can do my laundry in the meantime with it, or I can go for a walk because I structure myself in such a way that framework, I own it. That blueprint, I own it. The client doesn't own it. I depict because I'm going to do my laundry. I depict if I want to be on that 5 o'clock. If I'm going to be at 5 a.m., what am I giving? I'm going to take your 5 a.m. call, but I'm going to go to the gym at 10. Right? So it's a be able to balance the whole, and I'm not saying it didn't happen to men. Men struggled through it also, but as women, we're so nurturing.
Yes.
We want to make sure the food is on the table. We want to make sure everything is done and everybody's happy. And you look at yourself, you're like, did I eat? Did I actually shower today? Like, you take a stop back and you ask yourself, what have I done for me?
Yes.
So luckily for me, during COVID, my daughter was in Miami, so that was my escape. I would escape and go there, but stuck at home with my son, me working and doing my MBAs, it was driving me cuckoo.
How old are they, if I may ask?
Sorry?
How old are they?
So my daughter is going to be 28 this year, and my son is going to be 18.
Okay.
So I don't have babies anymore, but he became a baby.
Yeah, because
right?
what I mean is that, for example, like this work balance is different from different point of position where you are.
Yes.
I remember when I was growing my kids, I have 4 kids, and I realized that, look, I don't want to suffer aftermath. So the best thing is to dedicate my time, because in those days they would said, if you have 4 kids and you take them to babysitting, and then how much will they pay you for the babysitting costs and all that?
Yes.
So I realized that there's no need for me to stress myself trying to run from one job to another. So rather than develop myself for what I am doing now, while I spend time with my kids, because all my kids, they play sports, and that one alone, God, every hour, minute, school pick drop, and then sports, basketball, football throughout the day. Sometimes I sleep in the car. That alone. Then follow up with their schooling, classes and activity, lessons, making sure that they are committed. I'm so proud today because it worth it. And if I could mentor and coach, I would tell people, look, manage the little you have and invest in your kids.
Yeah.
So today now is another ball game, because I don't have to worry about their disturbance. Rather, they watch over me. They look over me while I now go through myself at workplace, which is my own establishment to manage. So when you are actually managing your industry yourself, you can't actually avoid too much time, because we put a lot of time into it. And then you can also decide. So when I close late, I go home, I relax until my body tells me get up. And when I'm up, I know that I am coming to resume work. But then the other side is making sure that the home is okay. That's what most women are not balancing. For you to jump up in the morning to go out, you know that in the night, you would have set everything up. Maybe while others are sleeping, you stay up and make sure by the time your people wake up that everything is ready for them. So you can jump up and go anywhere. Nobody will complain.
It's amazing when you think about it that way, right? You're programmed to do that. You're programmed to set it up. So in the morning, the husband, no offense to our video guy here, but they go to sleep, right? We're left doing the dishes and the chores while he's watching TV with the remote and stuff. And there's some dads who does that, but not.
But to keep a marriage, you keep a marriage. To be honest, why marriage is broken? To keep a marriage, you must work excess.
Yes.
To make sure that everything is balanced. You come late,
I
you
don't
do
know.
that.
I don't know. I don't know what we're telling the younger generation.
Yeah.
I kind of think that it needs to be both.
Balance. That's another part of it.
No, because in my house, I'm a mom of boys. Unless I want to kill myself, that's when I'll do it alone. I can't go it alone.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the kitchen, they're there with me. They have to be there with me. And that's the thing. When we're able to balance, it's not just balancing ourselves, it's balancing our families. Sharing the right structure, the right behavior and things like that. I was leaving home this morning and my husband was calling the boys to go and clean the kitchen. They have to. It's a collaboration. We got to do it together. Otherwise, I'm not going to be wearing out, right?
Yeah.
Talking about COVID, I was actually prepared for COVID. I just didn't know it. I literally finished my EMBA November 2019. EMBA, Executive MBA in Digital Transformation. It was in digital transformation. They were teaching us how to speak to the camera, how to do video. I'm like, what are we doing this for? They were talking about doctors leveraging telephones and videos. I'm like, seriously? Maybe in 20 years? And March 2020.
Yes, look at that.
Months later, COVID happened. So for me, it was kind of like, whoa, what is this?
Well timed. Yeah.
Well timed, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I was ready to work from home, literally. But I was, I work in the financial institution also, and it wasn't, I wasn't really able to work from home initially until I changed my role, and I learned to compartmentalize my day. When I need to do this, I do it. When I need to be with my family, believe me, I drop everything. Today, they know it is all about heroines. And so I'm doing it. So it's understanding, again, your power and leveraging it properly.
Okay, so just like I said, everybody are in their own phase of life. So for me, just like you said, my kids and I doesn't have to be in the, to do that. Everybody know what they have to do at their particular time. So for me to make sure that they have their meal and everything, because I have some principle in my house that you don't buy food. Once you're around, you eat. You don't obey all those things anyhow. So everybody know what they have to do. But my responsibility as a mother to make sure that I set everything the way it is, then they take it off from there. For example, like dish and all that shouldn't be on the everything is clean up. So they only come to get their food and eat. If you want to make something else, they make it. I don't have to get involved. I can't stay in my room. That's where I am now. I can stay in my room. I jump up. I go where I want to go. Right? So everybody are just independent. So, but some people are not in that position. Yeah.
Yeah. So listening to everyone here and from their conversations, I'm realizing that COVID, working from home remotely during COVID meant different things to each of us based on our household, based on our personalities, based on our careers or jobs and so on, based on the age of our kids as well. So, for example, like for myself, because I have young adult kids, I didn't have to worry about waking anybody up or making any lunches or getting anybody ready for school and things like that. Just being able to focus on work and cooking and providing what needs to be provided in the home. But it's just from this conversation, it's just a representation of the women that we're speaking to today, and realizing that working from home remotely means different things to different women, and that is how we have to find work-life balance. And what does that look like individually for us as women? So we want to thank you for sharing parts of your lives in regards to working from home and working remotely. We are going to, at this point in time, we're going to stop for a few minutes to take a short break, but then we will return to continue this wonderful conversation about women and work-life balance.
The People's Blessing Show is back and better. Get ready for a whole new season of the People's Blessing Show. Meet real people with real stories and exceptional accomplishment. This is the People's Blessing Show Hall of Fame series.
Hall of Fame is a series to honor individuals who have made significant impact in our community.
A master's degree and make my way in the world.
So educate.
Not a lot of people know about me and where I came from. So
join Reverend Blessing Ajayi in the Royal Room as she shines the spotlight on icons who have inspired our community to do better. This season promises to be inspiring, informative, and entertaining. Showing on the Black Community Canada Television every Saturday. Connect with us on socials at People's Blessing Show.
Welcome back to the Heroine Show. Our topic today, women and work-life balance. Before we went on our break, this topic was such an exciting and interesting topic that, in speaking to our guest, Kim Singh, today, as you can see, there's a little bit of a switch up here because this was getting so interesting that I had to bring her just a little bit closer to me, just so I can continue to feed off of all this excitement that's going on here at the table today. So ladies, welcome back from the break. And I just want to jump right away into a topic that, again, for women is very, very important. And that is, how do we avoid burnout as women and managing ourselves in this work-life balance? I want to throw that out to you, Kim. How do we avoid burnout? And along with that, in trying to avoid it, how do we also set boundaries at the same time in regards to that?
So you actually just stole my words. It's about setting boundaries. Be able to say yes and no, precisely, clearly. I am going to do this because this is how it's going to impact me, my family. It's a domino effect. But if you have to take a step back and say, okay, how do you set boundaries? Try to go to sleep early. First and foremost. Sleep longer, you live longer. I mean, that's what they say. I mean, I'm going to die soon because I don't sleep longer. Right?
Neither do I. I'm lucky if I get 5 hours.
Yeah, so that's one of the fundamental. Take sleep. Do your sleep. Shut off at certain time. Take breaks, mini breaks, right? Eat your lunch. Don't snack at your desk. Get up. Walk. Go take the dog, the cat, whatever you have. Take them for a walk. Take yourself for a walk, right? It's fundamental that we practice small habits. Interchangeably, that's going to become bigger milestones for you, right? You're going to suddenly realize, oh my God, I've lost 5 pounds. I'm just taking my breaks. I want to do 10. So you start setting your own milestones of things that's going to benefit you. Setting boundaries, especially for women, it's really, really hard. What we have to ask ourselves, honestly, if I'm not here, who's going to do it?
Absolutely.
If I don't take care of me, who's going to take care of them? You know, like when you get in the plane, the first thing they tell you, when that thing comes down, do you, don't do the other.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think we have to be respectful of ourselves and say, time out, I'm done. I'm hitting the gym. You're on your own.
So what I'm hearing you saying then is self-care is very important as well as part of setting those boundaries.
It's your priority. It's your only thing that you should focus on. What is in for me? The company will let you go in a fraction of a second. You're like history before you even get that pink slip. So think about you. What is it that you want to accomplish for you? How do you set those hard boundaries and stick to it? The moment you start flip and flop and your boss called, can you take this call? No, I'm sorry. I have to go to the gym. This is my time. I'll come back. Like, clearly and precisely.
And that is also how we avoid burnout as well. And a lot of times we as women don't realize that we are actually burnt out because we are so driven and we are so programmed to be all and end all for everyone that we don't realize that we are we're actually in the process of being burnt out. And in talking about that burnout, what are some of the other things other than self-care and taking time out for ourselves? I want to direct this question to you, Lady Abba. What are some of the tools or some of the resources or some of the support that our companies, our corporate companies can provide for women that you know of to help women in this journey of work-life balance?
Thank you so much for that question. I just want to quickly add to the last question. I would say that it's the value that you have that you can give. So if you're not healthy, you can't make anybody else healthy. Right?
It's true.
If you don't have, all those deep things in you, you really can't support anybody else, to your point.
Yeah.
When that thing comes on, take care of yourself first before somebody else. Now, talking about corporations, there's such a thing. It seems like a myth. Going for lunch, as simple as going for lunch, as simple as going for breaks. I feel the leaders need to help because at times, I don't know. We've heard people say I'm a workaholic.
Yes,
it is so true.
Yes, we hear that talk.
It is super true,
terminology
right?
a lot. Yes,
and I belong in that line, by the way. So I try to get support from my friends to say, Adisola, have you eaten today? Because you just forget.
Yes.
Right? Little things like that. Maybe the leaders need to show a little bit more care and empathy so that they can connect with the people around them. And another way, really, the corporations, if you're listening, they can do is maybe even have a daycare on site. Especially,
that's a good point.
For
yes,
nursing mothers.
Absolutely,
yes. We give them 1 year and then 1.5 years to those kids. You don't want to leave them. Period. But if they're close by, it's something that will really influence even the way they work because they know that the corporation cares.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Heroine Blessing, how can women? As a segue to what Heroine Abba was saying, how can women make time for themselves?
Well, that's a very good question. Thank you so much, everyone. You make time by yourself by prioritizing. Like, balancing is not about perfection. It must not feel like you must come to perfection until you balance yourself. It's about priorities. You deserve to rest. You deserve to be happy. When you're happy, you'll be purposeful, right? And you're able to support whatever responsibility or task that you are handling. And it is a permission that you give yourself to pause in the process. So when a woman knows that taking care of all these things will help you to be healthy and strong, of course, you have to take full responsibility of that, right? And fully, you cannot hold yourself to be at guilt when you are able to prioritize this. Do I answer the question?
Yes, you did. That is so wonderful. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I think I think that what you said is important for us to hear. And as a way of continuing from what you just said, Kim, I just wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for women struggling? I know we started off with you addressing what is work-life balance. So as a means to now, as we've had this discussion, what advice do you have for women struggling with work-life balance? What are your final thoughts on that? Or leave us with some little breadcrumbs or some little nuggets that we can take away as women.
So I'll say for the women that are listening, the girls that are listening, focus on what's important to you. Everything else, everyone else is secondary. Set priorities that you can attain. Take the time out for you. Say no. It's okay to say no. You can get to that project tomorrow. You can get to that dishes tomorrow. If you feel you've tapped out and you hit the ceiling, walk away. You have to have that ability to give yourself permission to walk away from things that doesn't give you value in life, that things doesn't make you who you are. Like you remember last year, I went to 3 galas every weekend.
Yes.
Then I hit the point where my blood pressure was 188 and I was in the emergency. No one did that to me but me. I did not give myself permission to say to these events, no, I'm sorry, I wouldn't speak. No, my health is priority. I was like, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to show up. We're in month 4 and I've only attended 3 galas. Normally, it's every weekend I'll do 3. And it's like, no, this is about my time. I become this elevator where I drop people down if you don't want to, go up for the ride. Right? Focus on you. Focus on what's important for you. Say no. It is okay to say no. Own your wholesome self. Once you do that, you'll start to realize, oh my God, I could do this tomorrow. I don't need to do it today.
It's funny that you were talking about, all the events that you were going to and being so busy that it affected your health. Because that's the other thing I wanted to talk about for us here as women. What I would like you to share, and actually you already started doing that, is sharing a defining moment in your journey that helped either you make a change as to this work-life balance or anything else that's happening within your life. So I'm glad that you talked about the fact that because of a health issue, you had to, kind of roll back a little bit and say, you know what, I need to, shorten my schedule or cut back on certain things. I want to know for the rest of us as women here, and can you share a defining moment in your journey that made you had to step back a little bit to do more self-care or something critical that is happening in your life that you would like to share with us as well? Heroine.
Okay, thank you so much about that critical moment. There are always critical moments at so many times, but I remember, just like I said today, like I choose, let me go and, do some care to myself, getting ready, making myself feel good, paying more attention to myself is very important. It's not selfishness. Some people may think that you're selfish. No. That doesn't stop you doing other things. So for me, I have chosen to sleep longer, rest longer, get up at the time that my body is very convenient, don't clean and wash when I cannot. Of course, I don't have any little baby to rush about that. So, and also be able to rest, enjoy my benefit. Benefit that your house are your benefits. Even those beautiful things you have in your house. Most times, we have all those things, we don't even use it. Some people don't stay in their house. Beautiful house, they don't enjoy it. So I choose to watch when I go home, even I get home for 2 a.m., I still sit down and freshen my memory by watching something I love, relax, hear music that will refresh me and then jump up stronger the following day. So, I feel that it's worth it to make sure that I can also say no to myself in some certain ways, right? So I'm actually enjoying it.
That's wonderful. I'm glad. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Lady Abba, would you like to share with us some kind of defining moment on your journey?
Thank you so much. Talking about who we are, women, we want to do everything. That's just who we are. We want to support everybody. We love, and I just want to say I celebrate women, not just on International Women's Day, but every day. Just because of who we are. We're dedicated, we're loving, we're caring. We're everything to our children and more to the community. But there are certain times that you feel that you've put in all of this, and then you're getting some negative vibes, right? Because whether we like it or not, people want to put your round peg in a square hole if you allow them. And that is a time for you to step back and say, okay, maybe it's time to reevaluate where I am. Maybe it's time to make some changes. So that is what I would say is a critical moment for me. Learning to know when to reevaluate. Nobody's going to tell you when. You got to own it. And making those changes to really show the value that you bring to the table anytime and every time.
Absolutely, absolutely. For myself, a critical moment for me was during COVID, where working remotely from home and I think we've mentioned this already. You're working from home, you're working on Teams, you're working virtually, and time goes by, you forget to eat, you forget to get up and walk around, to stretch your legs, you're sitting there at the computer all day long. And when I went into COVID, I was perfectly healthy. There was nothing wrong with me physically, but I can tell you that I have actually had to go to physiotherapy because what ended up happening, I ended up having issues with my sciatica nerve in my left leg, in my left hip. So all these pains I started to have that I didn't have before, and I blame it all on COVID. COVID, I'm telling you. So I had to go for therapy for an entire year on my back, on my hip, all these things that were perfectly fine. I think I aged about a good 5 years in 2020 and 2021. So for me, that is, I want to say that is a critical moment because it was affecting my health. And I realized that I needed to be reminded to actually get up, walk around, have a drink of water, have some fruit, do something so that way I'm not just sitting there all the time and I'm not neglecting myself. Because if you neglect yourself, then you're no good to anyone. So, I think it's important for us to remember in terms of this work-life balance, health, self-care, nutrition, beauty tips, taking care of our beauty as well, getting enough sleep. All these things are important, as well as even, and again, this is something I know it was affecting me as well during COVID, and that is because we were just at home, we're so isolated from everyone around us, whether it's our family, our co-workers, and so on. So it's important as well to have a social life as well, because that is also a part of work-life balance. This conversation we had today was very eye-opening. We can talk for hours on end because this is a conversation, this is a topic that is so important to not just adult women or mature women, but even for young adult women, whether they're going to school, university, college, and so on, balancing their own careers, their own education, as well as their social life. So I just wanted to make sure that I do remember our students as well, our grandmothers that are taking care of our kids while we're working, because we do have kids that are in daycare and we have our grandmothers and so on that's taking care of our young ones as well. And I want to say a shout out to all the women out there, and I want to thank you for everything and every person that you are in our lives. Okay, so I want to take this moment to recognize our guest speaker today, which is Kim Singh, and also to recognize her as our Heroine of the Week.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We want to celebrate, celebrate her and to let her know how great it is to have you here with us this week, and even today having you here on our panel to talk about work-life balance. I know that, I may know these other heroines, may not know, and for our audience that may not know this, outside of you working as in the corporate world, I know you also do a lot of work in the community. I know that you're also a global peace ambassador. I would like for you to just tell us a little bit about what does that mean in terms of the global peace ambassador and some of the one or two things that you do, mothers to daughters in the community, because I think that's important for us to know a little bit about that as well.
Thank you very much for Kim. My title is the Global Peace Ambassador. It was just something that was defaulted by an organization that we decided we want to make change in the world. And for us to do that, let's identify women like myself, who's very vocal, who can use their platform, be knowledgeable about the topic, to have opportunity to speak with dignitaries from different parts of the world. So I took it further by becoming a humanitarian diplomat, by finishing the school. And as you know, I'm going to Turkey next month to speak at the event there and at the summit and at the Mayor's Gala. But aside from all of that, as a peace ambassador, what I feel that's indebted into me is to how do I help make the world a better place, and being that to show up in my authentic self at all time. And being able to go to events and have that platform to say, how do we do this together? Too often we get carried away in the corporate world or the regular world, and we're not focused on humanity. Humanity is at crisis right now. If we take a moment and we take a step back and look at everything that's happening out there, everybody's fighting for something. And no one is stopping to say, who are we hurting in the process? How do we go about bringing peace and unity together? So I use my voice. I am very passionate about the topic. I use my voice to spread that world of love, build bridges with diplomats in different countries to say, let's come together and see how we can do this to make the world a better place. I'm also heavily, like you said, involved in the community. I sit on a lot of non-charitable boards, and I focus on empowering women. You know, there's a lot. 30 years ago when I came to Canada, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a coach. Now I know what it's like to have one. So I spent a lot of my time, as I started my own company in January, focusing on women. How can I make you a better person? How can I use my experience, my trials and tribulation to help contribute towards your success and your future? I think everybody has a leadership quality in them. They just need to find that person that's their godmother to just say, let me take you under my wings and I'll help ignite that fire. So that's what my company is all about, bringing women together, helping them, going to shelters, teach them to dress, teach them to speak, prepare their resume, do mock interviews, set them up for success. I firmly believe in no one can do this on their own. You have to do it as a community.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Was there something you wanted to add to that?
Fantastic. I think we need to celebrate her.
Yes, absolutely.
We need to celebrate her because it's so important to have women supporting women, right? And so thank you so much for all you do.
You're welcome.
This is well deserved. Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it takes a lot of sacrifice and devotion to do that, to be honest, with all the umbrellas that you carry, and yet you still feel this compassionate for your fellow women and the families, and I say that you deserve this award.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank you so much.
absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
And you know, with Kim talking a little bit about what she does in the community. I know also as well that Heroine Blessing, that your work here as well in the community. I would like you to just speak a little bit about your work in the community as well, and how you affect their community. Around you as well.
Yeah. So when someone talk about getting involved in the community, is a voluntary effort that you have seen a problem and you feel that there is nobody, why can't you do it? And then you throw yourself there, and it's coming in a place that it's not like you voluntarily, right? So what we do here, like I have so many umbrellas, Glorious Men of Wonder, as we do creative expression and mental health therapeutic to help individual to be able to cope with stress and mental health well-being through artistic activity like beading, painting, and music therapy also, right? So we do women empowerment, coaching, and in the other spiritual side we do prayer and different teaching and mentorship that will help men to grow and be a better wife, better family, teach them how to manage their homes and take care of their children. I also have the recording studio where we teach women. Right now we have a program that if you want to be a singer, you want to be a musician, come to GWOW and we're able to train you and you now be able to sing. It can be a career, yeah, and so many other things that we do. Apart from that, we do engagement in the community, community engagement, going to care home, going to shelter to help people in need, serve them, and also donate to them. So many other things. These are things that we are privileged to do, and I think all of us in different ways are doing the same thing. Thank you.
Lady Abba, Heroine Abba, I would like to give you 2 minutes just to say as well your impact on the community as well, since we're talking about women and empowering women and work-life balance.
Thank you so much. So, I come from Nigeria. In Nigeria, well, when I left, we don't do things for free. But coming to Canada, you realize that you need to volunteer.
Yes.
And so really in my volunteering, I started to see a lot of things. And then, during my lived experience, I've been worked, in the corporate world for a little while. I realized that people need help. And so I, called some friends together and we started what we call Council of Nigerian Professionals. We moved on to make it Council of African Professionals, and then there's African Caribbean Council of Alton. I tell people that I'm a volunteer geek, period. And you gotta love it. You gotta be passionate about what you do.
Yes.
So the idea is, bringing professionals together, mentoring ourselves, being role model to our children, supporting small businesses, just doing everything the holistic family needs to land and thrive in Canada.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear of all the different facets and the different avenues we as women, as Heroine, contribute. Because in doing this, it's no longer, as you said, it's very passionate. It's something that we do out of love, and and this is how we share ourselves with the other women, and this is how we empower women as well. So I just wanted to thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your thoughts on that. As we come to the end of our program today, which I don't think any of us want to come to the end because it's been such a fascinating conversation today, and I want to thank you all, ladies, as well for your participation in the conversation. I'm so excited I can't even get the word out, in this conversation today. That I'm hoping that our viewers was able to take away some nuggets, learn some valuable lessons, learn some things that they can incorporate into their own lives to make work-life balance for women a little bit better. You might be able to take 1 or 2 things to make it better for you, or even to share with others who was not able to see the show today. You can share with others as well, have them look at the show, and if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions, or even like for topics as well, feel free to, drop a word or send us a message so that way we can address some of those topics that are of interest to you as well. We want to thank you so much once again for joining us, and we are going to end today on just being your best self and being your best future self. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank
Have
you.
a
Thank you.
wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yes. Let us also end with our Let's Celebrate the Heroine and the Hero in You. Thank you so much, Kim, for coming once again to educate us, to empower us, and to help us to understand better how to have that wonderful work-life balance.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey!